So there it is, man. The Ohio State Buckeyes victorious tonight in Atlanta, Georgia, here in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Final score 34-23. The Buckeyes dropped the mic on all the criticism, all the doubts, all the narratives that had persisted over the course of the last few months. Kind of drifted off during their playoff run, but tonight, man, nothing else left to say. We'll unpack all of it right now. Hey, man, a lot of y'all have been dialed in and gotten subscribed. Thank you for that. Y'all are the reason why we're able to be out here in Atlanta, be at the national championship game, because of y'all tuning in, subscribing, and all those things. So, again, if you haven't yet subscribed, we'd love to have y'all a part of this. The content is not stopping. We made that promise to y'all. We're college football year-round. But let's talk about what happened tonight for Ohio State. To me, the difference was the difference. Okay, and that sounds sort of funny to say out loud, but like you could tell when you watch these two teams line it up, man. Ohio State just had more dudes, and we knew that going in. But the question was, like, hey, are they going to play like they have more dudes? Are they going to play like they are about to go win a national championship? Are they going to play up to that caliber? And they did tonight. We'll talk more about that in a second. But talking about the way they built this roster through this past offseason, because you had a lot of guys now that could have, quite frankly, been on NFL squads this year. Would they have been first-round picks? I don't know, but I think they helped their NFL draft stock. I mean, Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, bunch of dudes now that were a massive part of this playoff run, a massive part of what happened here tonight for the Buckeyes. In addition to that, Ryan Day, we said it during the offseason, he packed a heavy suitcase, man. Like, he packed everything, not sure what he would need. Again, keeping Trevion Henderson here. Quinshon Judkins, getting him from Ole Miss. Go grab a Caleb Downs just because you feel like it. Go and get Will Howard with your starting quarterback, Common Core, that could have come back. The way they built this roster, and they were able to reap the fruits of their labor by getting the most out of this roster with a national championship tonight, man, give a lot of credit to Ryan Day. I want to go back, though, talk about Will Howard. Will Howard, the narrative on him when he got to Ohio State was, hey, good player. He's really in Columbus, though, because he wasn't going to be the guy for you next year in Manhattan, Kansas. And whether that's true or not, I don't think this is a K-State opinion, but I do think that Will Howard, I have to believe, showed up here with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. And more power to him, man. He played like it throughout the course of the season, but we really saw him pour it on during this playoff. Because tonight, man, to me, he was the difference offensively. Like, Quinshon Judkins had a phenomenal day. Another guy that got via the portal had 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's not bad. But Will Howard, with the man defense Notre Dame played, Notre Dame, give them credit. They battled for 4 quarters. Second part of this is they did a pretty decent job in man coverage, not giving up that big deep shot until the end of the game, which is its own thing. But, like, Will Howard put Notre Dame in this position where they could never be right. You want to play man coverage and try and stick on our receivers? Awesome. Nobody's open. He's going to make you pay with his legs. Did that multiple times tonight. And then if you want to try to give him extra attention and, okay, hey, get down to the red zone, we want to make sure we account for 18 and what he does on the ground. Little shake and shimmy. Find Quinshon Judkins in the back of the end zone. Makes you pay that way. Also, Chip Kelly was in his bag, man. The marriage between Will Howard and Chip Kelly throughout this playoff run has been absolutely phenomenal. They were slashing and gashing in misdirection. That was a massive part of what happened tonight. And Will Howard, again, credit to him, he executed. And we said this post-Oregon, and I want to say it again. Everyone got after Will Howard for sliding too late and all those things. And, yeah, it was a bad play, a play he wants to have back, a play that I'm sure he's probably feeling better about now after they won the national championship. But in that game, you saw Will Howard turn it on. You saw the national title chops from my guy. And after that moment, we said, hey, we've seen enough. He is good enough to win a national championship. And so the way that he turned it on again in this playoff and played to the caliber he played at tonight, the way that he attacked, the way Ohio State's offense attacked, I loved that, man. That's the other part of this. So much, I think, is made about what Ohio State did towards the end of the season. That's fair. I mean, the Michigan loss is what it is, and I'm sure that'll be a topic of discussion for some folks when you talk about Ohio State if you're not an Ohio State fan. But when I think about Ohio State and what they evolved into, yeah, we talk about the way the roster, started playing to their potential. We've already hit on that. But talk about the way they grew up culturally, man. The way they developed what I would call a killer instinct. 3rd and 11. I mean, you want to just kind of try and punt it away and help your defense and all those things. And no, Notre Dame dares Ohio State to throw the football. Will Howard gets a matchup with Jeremiah Smith. Safety has to fill up and try and play the intermediate route. Jeremiah Smith one-on-one. You're going to go for it. They do. Played to win tonight, man. They developed and honed that killer instinct. And so for Ryan Day, speaking of narrative, speaking of criticism, nobody caught more of that than Ryan Day. And tonight, I think we can end all of that conversation around born on third base, and he's just living off of what Urban Meyer did. He's just living off of the Ohio State brand. Ryan Day put together what I believe is the most legitimate college football playoff national title run in history. Now, it's a short history now. It's first year of the expanded playoffs, so that's totally fair. But when you look at what they had to do post-Michigan to pick up the pieces, get ready to play a scrappy Tennessee team in a spot, now it's home field advantage, but a fan base now that wasn't all that excited about what Ohio State was at that point in time. Tennessee shows up and fills up 30%, give or take, of what the shoe was. You win that game. You play Texas, a team that was ranked number 1 at a different point this year. You win that game. I mean, the way that Ohio State, also before that, you beat the number 1 ranked Oregon Ducks, a team that beat you the first time around in Eugene before the Texas game. Like, all of the things that came into what Ohio State did this year from an opponent standpoint and from the way that they finished this season, the way that they won tonight against a scrappy Notre Dame team that resembled a lot of what Michigan was, and that loss, like, give Ryan Day a ton of credit for allowing this team to pick up the pieces, circle the wagons, and, again, develop those traits to ultimately win the national championship here tonight. So one more thought I want to leave you with. This was a special team, a special roster, a unique roster in the sense that they have a lot of dudes now that are going to play on Sundays, probably more than your average team any given year. So a lot of folks are going to say, hey, that was a super team, 1 year, phenomenal, they got it done. It's going to be a little bit tougher to do, or tougher to duplicate, rather, in the future for Ohio State because of the portal, because of NIL, because of these other schools that have a lot of resources to go as well. And I think that's a fair thing to say, but I would also say if I'm Ohio State, and what we know about that fan base and the powers that be, they care about their Buckeyes, man. We said it during the lead up to this whole thing. I'll say it again right now. If you're telling me the price of a national championship when it comes to what we pay for our roster is allegedly $20 million, I don't think seeing a national championship doesn't activate the pocketbooks a little more. I don't think it gets people excited maybe to write some more checks, supply some more funds for Ohio State to go compete for national titles in the future. You're telling me $20 million is enough. Okay, can we? If a little is a little, if $20 million is getting us that, what does $25 million get us? What does $30 million get us? Again, I'm not saying that's the case, but I am saying I don't think it's unreasonable to think that's a reality for how much that fan base cares, how much they're dialed in. So cool seeing the jubilation tonight. It's just cool to be here and experience all of this. I just kept saying post-game, walking around during the trophy ceremony, man, they are so happy. They're so happy. You could see just the resolution of what this season has been and just the melting away of all of the adversity and just the feeling of being on the mountaintop and having earned that spot on the mountaintop with all the things they had to go through this year and the way I had to fight through it. So it's a lot there, a lot we're thinking about, a lot we're talking about. We got a lot more on this channel for you, so make sure you're subscribed. But if you're an Ohio State fan, man, soak it in. Enjoy this one. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. You matter. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.